Hello and welcome. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, on the web at theloaclub.com. On these hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This hangout is the summary of our theme for the week and continues with Q&A on our member conference call. You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer about once a month, and our free letting go process by going to theloaclub.com. Next week, September 10th, will be our next open call, so make sure you get invites to that. So now we welcome Robin and Tara.
Welcome to this continuation of our discussion on some of the big myths about the law of attraction. Number 1 and number 2, which we discussed last week, were 1, the law of attraction is just one of many universal laws. And 2, it responds to my now focus. So this week we'll spend some more time with number 3. It takes time to create things. There's an inbuilt manifestational lag. Number 4. The law of attraction works more powerfully when many people focus together. Number 5. Law of attraction doesn't take away the need for action. That is hard work. Number 6. Mastering the art of creating takes a lot of internal work. And as we continue here, we'll revisit the really important difference between what you can't change, those things that are the fundamental and absolute nature of who you are and what everything is, and what you can change, which is everything else. So what's fundamental here? You're a consciousness that's a part of the collective consciousness of all that is. Your choices create you and the context that appears around you. So what do you get to choose? Everything else. Everything else. Physical and non-physical. Let's be clear up front once again that we're not here to tell you what you should believe. Whatever you choose to believe is up to you. Each and every one of you has a unique story, and there is no good or bad way, or right or wrong way of playing this game. In truth, in different versions of you, in equally valid and real versions of you, you're making different choices and playing different versions of the game. This discussion is for this here and now version of you. It's about creating what you want. We are here intersecting with you because our intent is to add our perspective. It's fun for us to interact with you as you try to figure out how to make some new choices and change your life. So, it's perfectly okay if you choose to believe in angels, in archangels, in guardian angels, in ascended masters and a hierarchy of celestial beings, in reincarnation and in old souls and young souls, in an all-powerful God and a devil, in sin and salvation, in heaven and hell, in sacred geometry, in Akashic records, or in astral travel, or in astrology, or tarot cards, or reading palms or tea leaves, in other habitable planets, and UFOs and extraterrestrial visitors. It's perfectly okay if you choose to believe in a shared physical world that's out there, and it's a round Earth or a flat Earth, and it existed before you were born and will still be there after you're gone. in a moon and planets and solar systems and countless galaxies in deep space, in global warming or no global warming, in polar bears going extinct or thriving, in medical doctors or homeopathic medicines or healers, in vaccinations or no vaccinations, or vitamins or antibiotics, in quantum physics or Newtonian physics or both, in gravity and time and trees and plants and birds, in seas and tides and storms and calm and earthquakes and tsunamis. It's perfectly okay if you choose to believe in the law of attraction. And it's perfectly okay if you want only the simple version, that your thoughts create your reality. And for as long as you choose thoughts that feel good, you're heading in the direction of what you want. But if you're wanting to really comprehend the true nature of who you are, to have a foundational understanding about everything, you cannot get there if you start from a flawed premise that any of those things listed above are somehow external to you and beyond your control. If you start from that pace, your puzzle is always going to be missing some key pieces, and your answers always end up in a complex tangle of maybes. Let's look at myth number 3. Creating takes time because there's a manifestational lag. When Abraham coined those words, they were using simple language to explain why your focus right now on something does not necessarily manifest it immediately in your experience. However, they were not saying that there's some sort of celestial timer that gets invoked whenever you make a new belief choice. There is no fundamental delay. They go on to say at great length that you have to line up with your choice. And it's that lining up that sometimes takes a little time. When you're in alignment, manifestation is immediate. You create the consciousness that is you, and the matching context that always accompanies you. Instant by instant, like the frames of a movie, from that huge tapestry of expectations you have that's been created by your previous belief choices about everything, including, of course, those things we listed above. When you make a new conscious choice, it is often the case that what you believe consciously does not match what you believe subconsciously. Let's give you a simple example about what we mean by lining up at all levels. As we often suggest, try moving something you use a lot, your hand towel in the kitchen, or move the wastebasket in your office from the left side to the right. Consciously, you know where it is. It's in the new location on the right. If we asked you, you could tell us. But what do you know subconsciously? As you'll find out the next time you go to use it, it knows still that it's on the left. And depending on the importance of getting it right, which means how much focus you give it, and depending on how often you use it, which means how much you practice it, over the next few days or weeks or months, your sub, as Guru called it last week, learns the new location. And then you're in alignment. Let's look at myth number 4. The law of attraction works more powerfully when many people focus together. If you start from the premise, as we said before, that the world is out there, and let's say your goal is world peace or saving the planet, then it's entirely reasonable that you would put your energy into reaching as many people as you can. You need to create a groundswell of popular opinion. You'll be doing things like joining or organizing groups that see things as you do. You'll be into coordinated days of meditation or prayer and healing energy. You'll be writing and calling and painting pictures to inspire breakthroughs in world thinking. And there's not a single thing wrong with any of that. If it feels good, go for it. The simple truth, however, is to achieve that goal, or any goal, it is not necessary for you to do anything. You don't have to reach out to millions and attempt to persuade them. You need only to choose to expect to step into a different version of the world, and you will. So, do we mean no action at all? The key is what feels good. If you do stuff and it feels good, then what you're actually doing is creating that tapestry of yours in alignment with the way you want things to be. Now, in a physical world, of course, you're all doing creatures. But the doing needs not to be done from some desperate or must-do place. If you're overwhelmed or sad or angry about things, stop. You're heading in the wrong direction. From Abraham this week came the following. Because others cannot vibrate in your experience, they cannot affect the outcome of your experience. They can hold their opinions, but unless their opinion affects your opinion, their opinion matters not at all. 1,000,000 people could be pushing against you, and it would not negatively affect you unless you push back. That 1,000,000 people pushing against you are affecting their millions of vibrations. They are affecting what happens in their experience. They are affecting their point of attraction. But it does not affect you unless you push against them. You, of course, are the one that's attracted those others into your world, and they will appear in your virtual reality within the boundaries of what you've chosen as possible. But the essence of that quote lies in these words. Unless their opinion affects your opinion, their opinion matters not at all. In other words, it's you who chooses, consciously or unconsciously, what to do with those opinions. You can put them in your probability bucket or your certainty bucket, or you can discard them into your impossibility bucket. The opinions of 1,000,000 others are of no consequence because it's those choices of yours that rule the day. Those others are the actors in your movie, and they're all faithfully following the screenplay you're handing out. So now we've segued into myth number 5. Creating still needs action. And by action, most of you mean hard work. It does not. If you're in alignment, no action is necessary. If you're not in alignment, your cause is lost before you start. There's not enough potential action in the universe to bring about something against the pull of the most powerful creative force that exists, your beliefs. Because it is your beliefs that create everything in your world. When you're in alignment, doors appear before you that you never even knew the existence of. And they will open at your touch. And of course, you're in a space-time world, a doing world. And as you step through those doors, you will do stuff. but it will not be work. It will be joyfully easy. You will be flowing downstream with the current. And lastly, myth number 6. All of this takes time to master. In other words, even after you've made the mental switch from it's an out there world to it's all an inside job, which it is, and to knowing how to create what you want, you're still going to have to put time and energy in getting to the place of mastery, of consistently being able to put that knowledge into practice. Well, perhaps not. You're creating it all, remember? So how would you choose it to be from now on? It's not just the goal that's yours to choose. It's also up to you to choose the path. Do you want to beat through the underbrush, or do you want to take the yellow brick road? We say, take the road. Now, we also know that having seemingly spent a lifetime without recognizing who you are, that getting into the groove with this takes a refocus. You need to build a new and ongoing, ever-present awareness in order to settle comfortably into playing this game as you came here to play it, as a conscious creator. But we also know that this last myth is insidious. And so we say, if you will just recognize that the shape and style and difficulty of the journey is just as much your choice as is the destination you are seeking, and if you will start by choosing to believe that this will be easy for you, then it will be easy. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have. And both the destination and the journey are included in that. This discussion has been all about an important distinction between what's fundamental and what's a choice. So once again, what's fundamental here? You're a consciousness that's part of the collective consciousness of all that is. Your choices create you and the context that appears around you. So what do you get to choose? Everything else. Everything else, physical and non-physical. You get to choose where your car keys are if you've lost them. You get to choose whether that delivery you've ordered shows up on time. You get to choose whether that meeting tomorrow is joyful and productive. You get to choose which version of your loved one shows up in your experience. You get to choose who wins the election, whether you vote or not. You get to choose whether it's flat Earth or a round Earth. You get to choose which myths are true or false. You get to choose whether life is hard and struggle is necessary. You could choose life to be easy. And if you do, it will show up like a flow of serendipitous miracles. We say, choose easy. After all, why are you here? You're not here to serve God. You're not here to fulfill some preordained purpose. You're not here to serve others. You're not here to save the world. You could choose to believe any of those, of course. That's up to you. But when you strip away the optional details and step outside of the story, only one fundamental thing remains. You're here to experience different aspects of yourself and the joy of creating in this powerfully focused space-time context. And the only thing that limits your choices is your imagination, and that has no limits. Can you see that when you start from halfway into a story, that story becomes the box you have to live within? If you start from there, You've already closed off many of your options, and you're trying to answer life's big questions from a place where no simple answers are possible. We say, start from your origins. When you start your journey from the absolutes of who you are, then and only then can you step in any direction you want to go. And now as we move to our longer discussion and your questions, no question is too lofty or too mundane. We would be delighted to talk about the joy of paying taxes, if that is your desire. Because if all of this is not relevant to your day-to-day existence, it's not relevant to anything, is it?
This Hangout on Air was the summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 calls a week with questions and answers for our members on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can become a member by going to the loaclub.com/join. Another reminder, our next open call, which is free to you, is Saturday, September 10th at the same time. Our longer discussion with Q&A continues now on our member line. So